Welcome, everybody. This is Josh Johnson with Regency on the Lake. I've got my team with me here this morning, and we're going to talk about who we are, what we do, and why we do it, and why we love it. And it's a beautiful day here on the lake. Good afternoon. This is Josh Johnson, and this is our first inaugural podcast of Telling Our Stories. And I am privileged today to have Andrea Reeves with me and some clients of mine, Debra and Ross Nash. And the purpose of telling our stories is to actually let you guys connect with clients that we serve on a day-to-day basis and people that are a part of our communities that we live in. And Debra and Ross have been our first clients here in the greater Charlotte area. Have a home here in South Charlotte and purchasing a home in Davidson. And we're pleased to have them with us. And Andrea, glad to have you with us too.
Thank you, Josh. It's nice for Debra and Ross to be with us today and just to tell your story and tell what it's meant to be able to find a home in Davidson that you're going to move to after being in your original home for 30 years.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
We're looking forward to the new.
To the new life.
And the change.
Thank you,
And
too.
the change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for helping us.
Honestly, guys, this is as raw as you get. We have not rehearsed anything. Debra and Ross know nothing about the podcast. They asked if we had questions. We don't. That's the whole thing with this podcast. I mean, we want it to be authentic, real, and genuine. And I think Debra and Ross are the perfect fit for our first one because they are 110% that.
Thanks. Well, let me ask you a question. You brought us in to interview us, but let me interview you for a minute.
Okay.
What is the purpose of this podcast?
The purpose of this podcast is to relate to folks and to let them know who we are and who you guys are. In my business, I've had the opportunity to meet lots of people like yourselves who are very successful, very real, genuine, good people. And that's what has made me love my job. And that's why I continue to do what I do, is relationships, really. So that's kind of just to tell people who we are, what we do, why we do it, and let them get to know the folks I know.
And how did you two start working together?
Oh, that's a long story. Josh used to work for me many, many, many years ago, and he decided to follow his dream and go to the beach and start working. And then he found out how great the mountains were, and he came back. And then he decided to move to Davidson after Helene. And he called me one day and he said, "What do you think about this?" And I said, "I think that's great. That way I can be that much closer to my kids." And I wanted to mention something too. The title of our podcast is Telling Our Stories. So I think that's where you all actually came in to where when we met you all, we feel like your family. We think you'll be around for a long, long time and be part of our family. And we're just thankful for that.
Oh, well, thank you.
She's so much more polished than I am.
Well, I just remember when they came to the house to see the house, I was doing a podcast or a Zoom meeting or something, and I just said, "Come in and show yourself around, and I'll be with you in a minute."
Yeah, I mean, we looked around the house while you were finishing up.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. We recently decided to downsize. I don't know if you can notice this by looking at me, but I'm an older gentleman.
No.
Probably hard to tell.
We can notice that you're older, but the gentleman part is still sketchy, you know.
And we've got a house in Charlotte, and it's larger than we need, and we kind of wanted to live near Davidson. Debra loves.
Always wanted to live.
Yeah, she loves the vibe.
I've loved Davidson.
And so we started. She told our financial guy at the end of our meeting this year. Says, "Okay," and I think we're ready to downsize. And I said, "What?"
I thought he was going to have a whiplash
Yeah.
when he looked at me.
Yeah. So
Because I hadn't talked. I didn't tell him that that's what I was thinking.
yeah.
Well,
So
sounds like
she
most
said, "You're in
marriages."
charge of finding our new home, Ross." And I'd like for it to be somewhere around Davidson. So anyway,
He got right on it.
Started looking around, and Josh, somehow Debra got your name.
Yeah, I think she entered. The way I got your name actually was an online lead generation tool.
I think so.
And they do not do their job efficiently. And I noticed that you had put in some requests for some information and nobody was really responding appropriately. So I think I reached out directly to you via text.
You did. And you were the only one who did that.
Yeah.
And you did it a few times. And I thought, wow, this person is earnest. And we'll talk more about that, what that means to me in terms of relationships and working with people. And I said, wow, this person's really on it. And you said something about even if you have selected someone else, because one of Ross's patients was an agent, and she had actually requested to show us some places. And I think I mentioned that to you, and you said,
did.
If that doesn't work out, I certainly would love for you to, I at least would like an opportunity to meet you. And it didn't work out. I mean, we just
hadn't found what we wanted.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And it just didn't sit with me as well. And so I said, I'm going to reach back out. So, and as I mentioned, when and I had actually had heard about and had actually did some research about the courtyards at Lake Davidson and thought, when we talked about downsizing, we were really talking about going much smaller scale. So I kind of had ruled it out, that we were really looking at something less. And then we started looking at something less and and I was miserable. I thought, I'm leaving this beautiful 5-bedroom, 4.5-bath house with a quarter of an acre with a yard that looks like a yard
Southern living.
From the Masters.
Yes.
With totally private. And I'm looking at these little cute bungalows.
Little houses on a hillside.
Yeah, but not what we were looking for. And I thought, I think I want to pursue this. And that's when it all started.
So
quickly. It happened really quickly.
It did.
Deborah made a date with Josh. Brought me along.
Well, Josh made a date with Deborah.
And he brought you along.
Right.
And we arrived in downtown Davidson, or is it uptown?
Downtown on
and there
Market
was,
Day.
There was music playing, and Josh had a flower
Bouquet of flowers for me. Well, we both had flowers.
This is not a stupid man,
Farmers market.
So anyway, that day, really the only showing we really looked at
was that.
He showed us some other options, but he said, "Well, let me show you."
Did we look at other places?
We
just
had
drove
options.
around.
Yeah, and just drove around, and we had options. And then once we looked at the house.
Well, and I have to remember.
I was going to say, let me finish this.
Okay.
Because when we drove up, I think Josh kind of knew what was coming. And he said, okay, now don't act too excited about
in front of the
of the
just
talk to me
builder's
about
agent.
It. So, of course, when I walked in this one, it's a beautiful home. And it doesn't seem crowded at all. I think it's almost 3,000 square feet on one floor, and we're leaving 4,000 square feet on 2 floors. And I walked in and I said, oh, I can see Deborah here. And sure enough, she loved it.
So he turns back in
So
front
he didn't have to take us anywhere else.
the builder's broker. He says, oh my gosh, I see you here.
Oh, yeah.
And you and I looked at each other and said, well, now we're dead.
We're locked in.
We're dead.
We're locked in.
We're locked in. But it's beautiful. And actually, once again, we went today for our meeting with the builder, the project manager. And it really, I think, confirmed, because we're leaving a house we built. I'm not going to get teary, but
30 years ago.
30 years ago. We moved in a month before we were married. We moved in fact, Thanksgiving Day, when we moved in, they were still completing the tile in the kitchen. And we moved in a month before we got married 30 years ago. And 30 years is a long time to be in one place. And it's a beautiful home.
It is. And I think that's one of the things that really we kind of connected on at the get-go, because my mother and father are kind of doing the same situation.
Yeah.
And they've been in the same home for 50 years.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same thing. And one question you asked me, you said, that sounds good, Josh, but how do I know I'm going to get the best? And I'm like, well, Mom and Dad's kind of already locked
that's
in on
right.
something.
'Cause he
She was
was
like,
looking
now
for-
I'm competing with his
He
parents.
said, I'm competing with your parents. How do I know you're not going to find the right thing for your folks? But it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the same thing. They weren't
No,
looking for what we
correct,
were looking for.
correct,
So,
correct.
But anyway, we're really happy. Things
Yeah.
are going along well.
Oh, yeah.
We'll hopefully get an offer on our house soon.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already made a commitment
Yeah.
on the one that you sold us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
We'll have no trouble selling your home. And honestly, even though we do not have that listed, it's obviously at the top of our priority list as well to take buyers too.
Thank
and
you.
your home is amazing. I mean,
Beautiful home.
there's absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to be in South Charlotte, it's as good as it gets.
Thanks.
Thank you.
But
It's a great neighborhood.
it
It
is. The neighborhood's
neighborhood.
awesome. I mean,
It's a great neighborhood. It's actually we were the fifth house built in that neighborhood, in that community. It's a Toll Brothers home, but we've seen the houses transition to families with children, and my daughter was 6 when we moved in, and now she's gone and off to college. And so a lot of the people who moved when we moved have transitioned away, and it's a very vibrant community for younger families, young kids. I think it's kind of a good mix. So this is going to be interesting because we're moving into a 55 plus community, and sometimes I think there's the assumption of, oh, we're like the old elephants are going to the watering hole to die, and that's not the intention. In fact, when we did a safari in September, and one of the things they do is that when the old water buffaloes know that we don't know, but I think animals know, when it's getting to be their time. And apparently they segregate themselves from the herd, and they're called the generals. The generals leave, and they kind of know, because they also know that they're going to attract the cats to the herd. So they kind of protect. And so we don't feel like we're going to the watering hole to die. We actually just feeling like we are going to revitalize a different way of life that we haven't had. I still work. We both still work.
Yep.
Ross works 3 days a week in his dental practice in Huntersville. I travel still and lecture. I have 32 speaking engagements this year all over the country.
your schedule is
It's insane.
She is more than
Insane.
she's the
Insane.
only person I've ever met.
Yeah. So we still, we're still vibrant, and we've kind of met some of the people in the community in the new community. I should say our new community, and most of them seem pretty vibrant themselves. So. And I really liked when we met with our financial planner and we talked what we were doing, and Ross was talking about we are making a financially lateral move. We are changing locations, but we are not saving or making any money on the sale of
Correct.
the home. And we kind of have I've already acclimated to it. Ross is sort of starting to acclimate to the fact. First of all, housing market's totally different. We bought that house in 1995, and what the housing prices are now are very, very different. But one of the things that our financial planner said, just because you're downsizing doesn't mean you have to downgrade.
correct.
And I said to Ross, and actually this is something that my mother said to me years ago, and she made a major health investment in the later years of her life. And she said, if these are going to be the last years of my life, I want them to be the best years of my life.
Absolutely.
And I feel the same way.
It's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, you're moving to one of the best places,
Oh my gosh.
I think, in our area.
Thanks for showing it to
Once
us.
again,
Yeah.
Tell about your experience today, just
Well,
downtown.
it was fun. I mean, once
Yeah.
again, and I'll be totally transparent, and I won't go into the whole pitfalls of it. But Ross has been. I mean, we both have been a little bit teary, but Ross cries at Budweiser commercials, so that's not unusual. I just went back to Seattle, where I lived for 22 years, and I was taking my girlfriend through Pike Street Market, and I got teary about my old stomping grounds. So I think I totally forgot the question.
Yeah, I think
About
you were telling me.
Davidson.
I've been a
About
little
Davidson.
down about it, just a little
Davidson.
unsure.
Did we make the
If
right
we made the
decision?
right
Did we
decision,
move too soon? Did we jump too fast? Oh my gosh, we're not saving any money. We're probably going to have to dip in instead of put in. And today, I mean, it was almost like a God wink today, where today was the day we went to meet with the project manager and walk the lot, and it's already started, and plumbing stuff is out and it's already been framed. And so I said, let's have lunch in Davidson. So go ahead and tell them the rest.
About lunch.
About lunch and about we walked.
You told me we had a great little date.
We did.
We did. We had a great little date.
Yeah, downtown Davidson is just vibrant for that. And Debra has a degree in theater.
Yeah.
So she's right in place there. And it's a great little town.
I was looking at taking pictures of all the little posters in the windows of First Fridays and craft fairs and art walks and gallery this. And
what I really liked is the stores put benches outside for the husbands to sit in.
Yeah, which is very important.
It is very, So it's obviously, I mean, when we pulled up and parked, Ross got out of the car and he said, "This is your vibe, isn't it?" And I said, "It is. It's my vibe. It's a very vibrant community, all ages, all ethnicities, all walks of life, different cultures, everything." And it just feels right when I'm there. It feels right when I'm there. So we.
So thanks, Josh.
Yeah,
you're welcome. And a lot of that, I think, came just in conversation with you before we had even met.
I
was like, I think I know what Debra wants, and
I think you're right.
I kind of gathered that by listening more than talking, which I've learned over 21 years of doing this. I mean, anybody can sell anything. Honestly, I think sales is a part of every life or job in the world. I think if you're an educator, you're selling. I mean, you have to have students believe what you're teaching them.
Yeah.
So it's easy to sell. It's not as easy to listen. But, when people tell you what they want, that's why I feel like we're more of a service industry than a sales industry. I mean, because I want to find what you describe, make you happy, make you feel comfortable, spend, like your mama said, be happy.
Yeah.
At the end of for the rest of your life.
That's funny. We had a waiter just the other day in a really nice restaurant that was telling Debra, he said, I can teach people about wine, but I can't teach people about people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're a people person, Josh.
Yeah, it is people.
I think it's all about, in fact, when I talk about customer service skills and team development and working with clients, helping them understand and accept care. And I say, what we do is relational, not transactional.
Correct.
People aren't buying the procedure. They're not buying the house. They're buying the way they feel about the house or the home. They're buying how you make them feel. So, 85%, if you think about this, in all walks of life and everything we do, 85% of what we do is communicate. 15% is the actual transaction. Mm-hmm. So if you don't communicate well, you and I talked about that. And I'm struggling right now because I'm working with somebody who's not a great communicator. I teach communication, and I want to sort of say, let me coach you. Let me coach you a little bit about how we could work more effectively together. Because right now we're not. So I think it's it's like, and you're right. You have to have great listening skills. That's you have to understand the pace. And I think, once again, you both did that really well in terms of you guided us into us making the choice. You didn't push us. You didn't say, here, sign now. I mean, we walked, we debated, we walked lots, we talked about possibilities, we went bantering back and forth. The other thing I have to say, and I know this isn't an intentional promotional podcast, is one of the things I felt is almost to the tipping edge. I always got the sense that you had our back. I mean, you asked questions that we wouldn't have thought about asking about water, the water source, and about the city, and about certificates. And it's like, I wouldn't have known anything about that. That wouldn't have been a criteria for me. But it was for you.
Well, that is my job.
I know.
Yeah. So
I noticed you understood all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I do.
You kind of got to the edge where the broken.
I pushed it a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And Deborah's like, okay, Josh.
But I noticed.
we got it.
You know what I noticed?
We want to buy this house. Don't mess it up for us.
I noticed your business partner kind of whispering in a ear before you said something important. Maybe she telling you what to say?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I do like to, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm fairly good at certain things. I'm not excellent at anything. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. But I'm open to constructive criticism or advice any day of the week. Obviously, we always are making progress and we're learning. Andrea, I learn from every day. I mean, she's obviously been doing this long, 4 or 5 years longer than I?
9.
9? I'm 21 years. You ain't 30, are you?
Yeah, 29 this year.
29, so 8 years longer than I. So, but we've been doing it. Our team's been doing it a while, but we all work together as a team and we are a family. I mean, that's what I tell people when they come to work with us. I'm like, look, for me, my priorities are God, family, work. And if you fall into my team for work, you are part of my work family. And honestly, we operate that way. I mean,
well, you were talking before this about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to do your work,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to have a great team.
Yep.
And that's what I see.
Yeah,
right there.
it is.
Well, I think one of the things that I say in the programs that I do is that people wake up for purpose. They don't wake up to do a task.
Correct.
So, and we were talking about, we were talking about the bartender or the server we had at a restaurant in Charlotte when he said, I can teach people about wine, but I can't teach people about people. And I was visiting a place that had started a business based on a single purpose. It was actually a survivor of the Black Hawk Down. Mm-hmm. He was one of the fellows who was in the second helicopter, had his leg shot off and amputated, and he built a distillery, and it's all dedicated, all the proceeds and everything are dedicated to soldiers in combat and soldiers in recovery and veterans. And it's pretty interesting when I talked to my server there, he almost got teary-eyed about, I said, why do you work here? And he said, because I believe in them and I believe in their purpose. And so we talked about this, that I think no matter what we do, whether it be real estate or serving people in a restaurant or dentistry, it really is about relationships and not about the transaction.
Correct.
The transaction comes after
the relationship.
you establish the relationship.
Correct.
And,
Yep.
That I think is, and actually, I'm not going to make any disparaging remarks about anybody in particular, but if I look at the two experiences I had with two agents, we started out really with a relationship. And I think that even if I had not chosen to work with you, which I can't even imagine why I wouldn't have,
We still would have been friends.
I think I still would have reached out to you and said, hey, what do you know about this? Or what do you think about that? Or how's your dad?
Yeah.
And I think for me that always comes first. And that might be why I have a little discomfort in my other relationship, because I don't feel that. Mm-hmm. So I think people, let's face it. And we even talk about if we want to be politically correct or politically incorrect, what terms do we use? I mean, if we want to talk about non-binary or binary or whatever. Right. And I remember hearing this amazing Dr. Lou Rajan, he said, whatever you want to call yourself, we are humans.
Yes.
We are humans working with other humans. And if we remember that at the base core of everything that we do, then I think that it helps. It helps with our purpose, and it helps with what we do. And once again, it helps grow relationships. And I think I mentioned that, Ross is certainly a brilliant dentist and a brilliant scientist and artist. But man, he's got a great chairside manner with his patients.
Yeah.
He makes them feel, and they truly do. They matter. It's not, is he going to do this dentistry? It's, am I going to serve this? How well am I going to serve this person? Right. Am I going to make them happy? And I think that's his purpose.
It is. It's obvious in your day-to-day relationships.
Thank you.
Just watching you and how you interact with people, you've got that genuine, you care.
Thank you.
And
it's true.
I think that authenticity and genuineness, if there's anything I wish that I could see more in generations even younger than myself, it seems like that's becoming lost. Yeah, and I don't know why, but...
I will tell you, though, the first year I married this lady, she was already a dental practice management consultant when I met her. I had a practice that was already established and running. And when we got married, I asked her if she would manage my practice. And she said, well, Ross, I have other clients. I can't be there every day. And I said, I understand. Just make me your major client. And she did. I didn't do anything different. But the first year, my net income doubled. Not because I was doing anything different. I wasn't. But you can't provide a service without a successful business. And that's what she knows how to do in dental care and medical care.
Well, I think in any business, you have to have a system. If you're going to be successful, if you find something that's successful, how do I repeat that success? How do I repeat that system so it perpetuates success? So the whole idea is, and most dentists don't go to dental school to be business people. Mm-hmm. I mean, you didn't go to business school
to be a real estate broker.
To be a real estate broker. Yeah. I mean, my father was a real estate broker. He didn't go to. His degree was in law. Mm-hmm. So, but when you create a system that can be repeatable, whether that be real estate, dentistry, sales, and and as you said, everything we do is selling ourselves. Mm-hmm. Whether that be to persuade a child, or to teach, as you mentioned, to persuade someone to learn, to persuade someone to change. I mean, what you helped us do. I mean, here we were in a home we had been in for 30 years, and you didn't persuade, but you helped us see the possibilities of change. And I think that's another part of helping others. I think helping others is almost a lost art. Helping others. Mm-hmm. And when you put your client first, when you put when you put God first, and you put your family, but when you put your client first and say, I think Ross's mantra is when you do the right thing will always happen.
That's
so
the
do the
truth.
right thing.
It is.
And
it's so
may
easy.
not happen immediately, but eventually.
It does take time. Time takes time. And I'm old enough to know that now. When I was younger, oh, Lord, let's go. Let's do it.
But you know what they actually say, what experts are saying, that having time is the new rich.
Agreed.
Having time is the new rich.
Wealth.
Yeah.
There's a difference in being rich and being wealthy, in my opinion.
You're right.
I've been fortunate enough to meet rich people and wealthy people. Wealthy people are happier than rich people. Is what I have found.
It's true.
And wealth includes a lot of things more than money. Time, like you said, health, family, children, being happy to have one vehicle versus 1,000.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, you probably didn't even realize we would get into this conversation, but in 2011, we had some catastrophic incidences happen in our life. One of them was financial. One of them was medical. And when push came to shove, what was most important? Was it the medical catastrophe or was it the financial catastrophe? It was the medical one. And it turned out that the financial catastrophe meant nothing. We dealt with it. It was the medical catastrophe that really took precedence over our lives. And and in the end, by the way, it all worked. Everything obviously worked out. I'm still here. We're still here. We rebuilt ourselves. In 2011. So the other thing is that I think that resilience, actually Steve Jobs said this in terms of, if you really want to be successful, there's two things you need to know. You need to know how to be persistent and resilient. And I think that is absolutely true in any walk of life, no matter what we do. As a mother, as a parent,
yes,
you've got to be persistent and resilient. As a child of aging parents, holy cow!
Yeah, it's
persistence
tough.
And resilience.
It is, and it's tough for everybody. I mean, even in that specific scenario, I mean, I know it's not easy for my parents. I mean, and it's not easy for you guys moving out of a home you've been in 30 years.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. That's not easy. I mean, you have memories there. I mean, obviously, that you want to carry with you.
But I have some stuff I might want to sell you.
Yeah, that's the truth,
I'm getting
too.
rid of stuff.
Yeah. People do collect a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh, things you think you needed, and of course my daughter who lives in Brooklyn, who's 37 years, she says, I don't want any of that stuff. I don't want any of it.
And that's something that I think parents have a hard time with today, too.
Well, yeah, doesn't this plate matter to you?
Right, exactly.
Nope.
Yeah.
This was my grandmother's plate.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you want it? It was your great grandmother's plate from Croatia.
Yeah. No,
She's
children don't want anything. My daughter wants my Bible, and that's the only thing she wants out of my house. That's mine. The only thing.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, though, too. I think there's a little transition in how people live now versus how they lived previously. I mean, it's not uncommon for people your age to have not moved in 30 years. I mean, I'm an oddball for my generation to have been as grounded as I've been, honestly. And younger generations, folks younger than me, Lord, I mean, they'll probably be moving more than I do.
Well, studies are
all the
showing every
apartments
7
that are
years
being built.
for the younger generation now.
Well, they say people, if you look at the trends, if you look at economic trends for 2025, one of the trends is people churn faster than they did before.
Absolutely.
Back in the day, you bought X amount of acres and you built your farm there. And then when your kids moved out and got married, they built their house on that acreage, and you all kind of lived in that community. And you stayed in that community, and the farmhouse was there like forever. It doesn't. Things change. And
change is good.
Change is change.
Change is good. And downsizing's not downgrading.
Yep, downside. Yeah, I think if you know the other thing that if you're not growing, you're dying.
Correct.
So I always tell people, my friends who are not, most of my friends, not in my industry, but most of our friends, they don't work anymore, and they always say, Deborah, when are you going to retire? And I said, what? Why? Number one, why should I retire? When my services are no longer requested, then that would probably be a sign. I'll be like the general that has to go out to pasture. But I say, when I stop learning, I become irrelevant. And when I become irrelevant, I become obsolete. And when I'm obsolete, then I'm no longer employable. I mean, as long as I continue to learn and grow, I'm thinking, do I need to do something structurally? But,
no.
It's not going to happen. I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid I'm going to come out looking like Mickey Rourke or that cat lady, with the stretch things. And I don't want to do any of that. So I think I'm going to do my very best to age as gracefully as possible.
You don't show your age at all, my dear.
That's the truth.
Definitely not.
When you talked about are you wealthy or are you rich, then I think that people who are wealthy enjoy life. They enjoy life. They embrace it. And I think part of that is helping others. I absolutely think being altruistic. I remember, I have never forgotten this. I was probably in my late 20s, maybe even early 30s, which was a long, long, long time ago. And I said, if you're really feeling down, you really want to feel better about yourself, do a good deed and don't tell anybody you did it. Don't do it to be self-aggrandizing or to receive the acknowledgement or the accolades. Do it because it's the right thing to do. And I think that he does that all the time.
Yeah,
he does it all the time, and people turn around and they say, and he never does it to receive affirmations or acknowledgments or a reward or a plaque, or he just does it.
If Ross is like me, it makes me happy
to help someone.
Listen, I'm the guy, if I'm in a grocery store and I see somebody and they look a little down, I'm the guy that runs up and I'm like, high five, it's a great day to have a great day. And my wife looks at me and she's like, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, they just smiled. I mean, like, them smiling genuinely made my day.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll be honest, I think anytime somebody does something like that to me, it brings life to me.
Mm-hmm.
It brings energy to me that's good.
You can absolutely make a change.
Yeah.
It's really funny. We had something happen in the house we're currently in, and one of the workers, we had a leak, and they were fixing the ceiling, and I said, hey, I'm going to make you all smoothies this morning, and who wants a protein shake? And at the end of the day, he said, I'll tell you what. He said, I came in here today feeling pretty down. I said, I was in a terrible mood. He said, thank you so much for for changing my mood today.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, if you could do that for a person, that's success.
That's
And
what makes you
is.
wealthy.
So,
also.
and I think,
selling houses does too.
well, I'm going to say, but I also think when once again, if you take your client, whether it be a real estate client, dental client, my type of client, if you can make their day, if you can change the way they feel, if you can juxtapose them to help them see life in a better way, I think you did a good job.
I'm looking forward to going to the farmers market with you guys and going to the concerts.
I'm
in
looking
Davidson.
forward to. I got the.
We don't live that far apart, do we?
No,
I've signed up to. For my Summit coffee card. I signed up to get my notices about the farmers market, so I get this. And then there was a notice in the newsletter that they were looking for board members. And I said to Ross, I said, I think I'm going to apply to be a member of the board. He said, don't you think we should move there first? I said, yeah. We probably need to move there first. We need to move there first. Yeah, so I think this transition that we're making after 30 plus years is we're not downsizing our lives either. We are, so we're not downsizing our home. We're not downsizing our lives. So I see actually a fuller life than we even have now, if that's even possible at our age.
Oh, I think it's possible. We're going to dance.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to dance. Do y'all dance?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
How about Jimmy Buffett?
We won. We have won 2 dance contests.
Wow.
One in Jamaica and one on a cruise. And it was funny because I knew that they were kind of scoping people out at night in the club at the cruise line. It's like to put them in the dance contest. And so I said, Ross, they're looking at us. And we got in as one of the finalists in the dance contest on the cruise. And we are not formally trained, but this is a difference. We're not formally trained, but we were having fun. And we beat the couple
That was formally trained.
They could have been on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
But they were so stiff and formal. We were just having fun. We have fun.
Well, that's what life's about. I mean, and this is fun. I hope you all are enjoying this and have enjoyed today.
Great. Thanks for being on your first podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I'm giving him all the credit, but I know who's responsible here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We appreciate you all very, very much. And we do look forward to seeing you in downtown Davidson. Yes.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you up in the high country too.
Yeah.
Because you've got the home there at Old Bow.
We
do?
Yeah, we
Yep.
do. We have
So,
space
I
in
mean,
Old Town.
we that's another thing that was kind of similar when we first talked. But
Yeah. I think you also promised that you would lift the heavy things if Mom and Dad
I will
couldn't.
do my best.
You know who does the heavy lifting at home now?
Yeah.
I do.
Huh?
And I rent her out to the neighbors.
You know, that could go in many different directions. So maybe you should clarify what you mean by that.
To lift things.
Yeah, he'll say, how'd you get that thing moved? I said, I moved it. And I think my doctor asked me one time, she says, what are you doing for strength training? I said, I lift my carry-on suitcase into the overhead bin above my seat a lot. So I said, I can do this. So I've got really great upper and lower arm strength.
They should do it so much.
Yeah.
You know, I think the whole idea, and I think one of the things that you kind of learned and that people learned is to keep moving. Just keep, what is this, Dory who said, just keep swimming?
Yes.
Just keep swimming. Yeah, just keep swimming. And pivot. So what I have to say that today was a great day for us because as we were starting to reminisce about what we were leaving, today we had an opportunity to take a look at what we're going to.
Right.
So
Confirmation.
I'm telling you, it was absolutely perfect timing.
Yeah.
And once again, I know you two didn't have to be there today. You didn't have to be there, but you
Thank you
were
both.
Yeah.
to support us.
Well, I wanted to be
and
there.
that was
Me too.
That was also.
I was hoping we were going to have hard hats and shovels.
Well, I mentioned that. That's why I wore jeans. I says, I think we're going out there and having our pictures taken with, shovels and hard hats, Ross.
I told you he was kidding.
I know you did. But
Well, nobody responded when I said I'll bring the shovel, so I thought, well, they don't want to do that.
Oh, I would have, in a heartbeat, I would have done it. But once again, I have to say that there's things you have done for us in this, during the transaction that was relationship based, which made the transaction
And to be honest, I told Ross this on the way in here to do this podcast that it was my full intention for us all to go to lunch together. And while I was sitting there in the pre-construction meeting, I had another client text and was like, "I'm in Davidson. I'm waiting on you." And I'm like, "We weren't supposed to be together." But I didn't say that. But I was like, "Give me 30."
Yeah, you make it work.
It made it work, but it was my intentions for us all to go to lunch. But it sounds like you guys got to have
I told Joshua we had a little date ourselves.
We went to a little ice cream.
Uptown and got dinner and ice cream. We sat out on the walk. It was fun.
Yeah.
We had a good time talking about what it was going to be like in the future. So what's your one piece of advice you would give people who are listening to this podcast? And he knows that I'm going to do this. For all of you, what's your one piece of advice?
Live your life to the fullest, because you never know what might be around the corner.
You're right.
Yeah.
My piece of advice, one thing, that's tough.
I know.
And Andrea hit it pretty good there. I mean, live life to the fullest. But, I mean, for me, it goes back to those three things again: God, family, work. And I've always found in life, if I put God first in everything, then everything else, even if in the hard times, things still seem to be better. And kind of get goosebumps when I say it. But the Lord is good all the time. And all the time, God is good. And I mean, that's kind of my mantra. And I mean, He's been with me so many times in so many ways and so many places that too many to describe. So that'd be my advice. If you don't have a higher power, find Him today. and some people have different higher powers. Mine's God, God of the Bible. But, I'm not anybody's judge, and I can't make a decision for anybody. But, that would be my advice.
What about you, Dr. Nash?
Do what your wife says.
That is not bad advice.
Yes.
Yeah, that is not bad advice. I was 37 years old when I had my daughter, and my mother would ask me. I remember one time she says, when are you going to start having children? And I said, well, Mom, I'm waiting for the perfect moment. And my mother said, Deborah, if you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting all your life. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Create the perfect moment. Create it for yourself. The other thing, when you're talking about God, I have to say, years ago I took a Bible class, and the pastor, one of the last, this 16-week class, one of the last thing he said, he wanted you to write a description of what heaven would be like for yourself. What would it be like? What would it look like? What would it feel like? And he said, write it out exactly what you think heaven would be like for you. And everyone wrote their descriptions. And then at the end of that, he said, so if that's what you think heaven would be like, why don't you create heaven while you're here?
You can.
Wow.
You can.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, that was a good piece of advice.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, not to get on a tangent, but I mean, life is life, but we do make choices every day. And I mean, God doesn't intend for us to be miserable. He wants us to be happy, no matter what stage of life we're in. And I think, a lot of folks, when they hear God, they cringe automatically because it's never been, God wants you to be happy. I truly believe God intends for all of us to be happy, even in the bad times. I mean, life is life, like I said, and time is time, and certain things take longer time, a longer amount of time than others. But, if you're not happy, there's always something you can do. And it's like we talked about, serving. I feel like anytime you kind of get out of yourself and you help someone else, I mean, that for me is huge.
I think that's why Ross has done dentistry for so long, is that he feels like he's serving people. And one of the things, Ross, you said to me years ago, he says, I don't do a lot. I don't have a lot of talents in terms of singing or painting, or he doesn't even play golf very well. Mm-hmm. But he says, but God gave me these to do dentistry. So this is how I serve God, with these.
And you make people happy. I mean, you don't like crooked teeth, but you want to know what my daddy told me?
What?
I have a sister. She's younger. And we both went to the orthodontist at the same time. Obviously, I've got that little crooked tooth there. Well, orthodontist said, both kids should get braces, Tony, who's my father. He said, okay, how much is it? Next logical question. Doctor told him. He said, throw him on the girl. That crooked tooth gives him character. We're going to leave it alone.
Oh, funny.
So I've got character.
There you go.
But
good for you.
I wish I'd got braces too.
It doesn't hurt you a bit.
Yeah.
I can fix that though.
Yeah,
real
you can
easy.
fix it. I may need to get it fixed.
It doesn't need fixing, but I can fix it.
Yeah. But again, thank you all for being with us today. It's been awesome to
It's
have
great to know you.
Yeah.
Great to know both of you.
Yeah,
And I
thank
mean,
you.
you didn't have to do this, obviously. I mean, you did it out of the goodness of your heart, and it made my day.
Thank you.
Mine too.
Getting to spend time with you. I mean, I texted you that even before our meeting. I was like, I'm just looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm going to get some good acronyms throughout the day. But anyhow, again, it's been amazing, Andrea. Thank you for being here too.
Thank you,
You're
Andrea.
welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into our introduction to Regency on the Lake. Stay tuned for our podcast, Telling Our Stories, which will be dropping in the near future.